Alison Rosen is your new best friend. Alison, with her the good times never end. Alison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Alison's your new best friend.
Hey everyone. Hi. Hello. Welcome to a very exciting episode of Alison Rosen is your new best friend. I'm sitting here in the pod cabin with your husband and mine, Daniel Quantz.
Hi.
I debated saying your middle name, and then I thought, you know what? That's like a need to know kind of thing. Who knows what people could do with your middle name?
Danger.
They could hack into your...
No, Danger is my middle name.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant it could be Danger. Us.
Yeah, if they knew my full name, then...
They could...
God, what else could they find out about me?
I don't even know.
Probably everything.
I feel like when we were young...
They could hack into my underwear.
You know who's hacking into our underwear?
Peter,
yeah. When we were young, I felt kind of secondhand embarrassment for people whose middle names were unconventional.
Robinette.
Do you know someone whose middle name was Robinette?
You do.
I do?
Joseph Robinette Biden.
Oh. He and I were not coming up at the same time. It
Am
might
I wrong
surprise
about that?
you.
Isn't that his middle name?
That sounds right. But why is that someone's last name?
I don't know.
Like some people have, like I knew a Megan Benjamin Heller. I made up her last name because I didn't want.
So she had a.
Yeah, it was her mother's maiden name. Which, by the way, you can definitely get into people's bank accounts with that info. Don't put it right there. That's like putting your.
That was probably before the days though when that was.
I feel like that's been that case. That's been that way forever.
You could make your kid's middle name your
PIN code?
your PIN number, and then that way you won't forget it.
But so anyway, I'm asking you again, not revealing your middle name because Danger is not the name, but you have a last name as a middle name.
I do.
Did you ever feel, out of sorts about it? Did you ever wish you could just have a cool last name, a regular last name?
Last name or middle name?
Middle name is what I mean to say. Should we start over? This is not my best work.
Okay.
Oh, no, I was joking. You agreed way too easily. No, Daniel, we're already 2 minutes and 30 seconds into this
I'm always
episode.
up for starting over, by the way.
Should we really start over? I don't think so.
I'm always up for it.
I feel like we can turn it around. You know the problem with starting over, Daniel? We're pot committed, to use a poker term. You know me, always using poker terms. Like I said, we'll never get these 2 minutes and 53 seconds of our life back.
No, it's true, and neither will the listener.
Although, the more we continue down this path without starting over, it's just going to get worse if we are going to start over.
I know.
But we're not going to. You know why? Because I don't believe in perfection. I believe in mediocrity.
Well, that's good.
Speaking of, can I give you a compliment? Although, wait, you haven't said how you felt about your middle name.
Oh, I've always disliked it, but not because of what it is, just because it never had any meaning or significance of any kind. It was my dad's middle name, and nobody knows why it was his middle name. It's not like it was a family name or, it was, we're named after this person from history that we admire.
Right.
Or anything. It was just like a name, I guess, that his parents just chose out of a hat. And then I get it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I'd rather have no middle name than something that has zero significance of any kind. And it's not like it's...
Can we say what it is?
It's Monroe.
I'm not laughing at it. I'm laughing at the way you said it. I didn't know that it had no... I didn't know it was your dad's middle name, and I didn't know that it had no significance.
Like, if it was like, your name is... It sounds great. Like, it's... Xavier Fartigus.
Fartigus?
You know what I mean?
Oh, my God. Xavier Fartigus.
Fartigus.
Huh? Jeez. I thought you said Xavier. Well, I'm sorry. They sound similar. I don't know that one is better than the other, but I got very excited by the name Xavier Fartigus. as a middle name? Daniel Xavier Fartigus Quantz?
Daniel Xavier Fartigus.
Fartigus.
I didn't say Fartigus.
I did.
Anyway, you know what I mean? Like something that just like, ooh, those two were like, do we know an Emily Rose? Yes. Isn't
Yes.
it David's?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like a great Emily Rose.
Wait.
That's great.
David's.
David Huntsberger's.
Oh,
wife.
yes.
Isn't that her name?
Yes, Emily Rose.
Like that's great.
Yeah.
I
was thinking of the actress who plays the friend on Schitt's Creek. Is her name either Emily or Rose?
Maybe.
Not the friend, the one who works in the hotel.
I don't remember.
Okay.
But
moving
anyway,
on.
you get what I'm saying. Like the two, the first and middle name, they gotta sound good together.
Mhm.
Or if they're not gonna have significance, and mine has neither. So I have always disliked
Daniel Quantz is such a good name, though. Let's give you a different middle name.
What sounds
Fartigus.
good with Daniel?
But I feel like Daniel Quantz is like sleek. I feel like it just is like Daniel X Quantz.
Yeah, Daniel Quantz is a lot. It's a mouthful. So it's like if you're gonna do the middle name, it'd be Dan.
Oh, Dan Fartigus.
Dan Blank Quantz.
You should just make it blank. Anyway, we're recording on a rare Friday evening.
Mhm.
We had to cancel and move around so many plans to clear our schedule because my Friday nights are filled.
With falling asleep on the couch.
Oh, that brings... I don't fall asleep on the couch anymore. Have you noticed?
You do.
I don't. Oh, every night I do.
Every night. You
Except,
mean every night. Except every single night.
I don't fall asleep on the couch in the day is what I meant to say.
Congrats. You know,
You do, though.
I hit a wall at like 5 o'clock every single day. I noticed this during COVID,
Mhm.
where it's like whatever my circadian rhythm is at 5, it dips below sleep. Like it's like my brain shuts off. I get very sleepy, but then it'll be like 10 minutes, and then I'm like, huh,
You are painting such a flattering portrait of yourself. Oh, occasionally at 5 p.m. you just dip onto the couch for a 10-minute nap. I have seen you. It looks like someone shot you and you fell onto the couch
Yeah.
for like an hour in the morning.
Well, that's different. Like if I don't get enough sleep,
Yeah.
I'll take a nap on the couch if I have time.
Right. Anyway, the point is...
Jesus, this is exciting stuff. I don't give a shit.
Well, now it's 7 minutes and 30 seconds. We really really
Alison,
made the
come
wrong
on.
call. Listen,
This is your
Fartigus.
show. You got to
Listen,
steer it in
Fartigus.
interesting directions.
I have been trying to say something for quite some time.
Yeah. What?
I wanted to pay you a compliment. Because, and I'm sorry this goes back to this zesty topic,
Mm-hmm.
but I took a nap in the day.
Mhm.
And all this talk of sleep is making me yawn. I took a nap in the day, and I roused at like 1 p.m.,
Mhm.
put on my bathrobe, made another cup of coffee, stumbled into the office, and said, I don't know what's wrong with me. I am such a lazy sack of shit.
Mm.
Or like, I'm the laziest sack of shit. And you said, you're just tired.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the nicest reframe. So
Good.
thank you. And I thought, that's a nice guy.
I'm a nice guy. Look at me.
But that's supportive. Because you could have been like, yeah, what's your problem? Because that's what I was saying to myself. Hey, bitch, what's your problem?
Well-
why are you taking a snoozella in the...
I only do that when I'm giving you a hard time for fun. But like I don't know. I feel like we do a lot of harm to ourselves with that like inner voice when we go, I'm such a piece of shit, I'm so lazy, la la la. Because your brain, like, it sounds crazy to say this, but it's like, because it's your brain saying it. You know what I mean? But it's like, if you say that to yourself, your brain believes it.
So your brain believes itself.
Your brain is constantly
Listening to itself?
you don't have a static sense of self.
Correct.
This is true. And your sense of self is constantly changing.
Mhm.
And so when you tell yourself something negative, you believe it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really important to give yourself a fucking break. Like, you were tired. You took a nap. Big fucking deal. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to get away from that kind of negative, like, feedback in your head. Like, it's hard enough. You got to be your own worst enemy? No. Be your own advocate.
Yeah.
Be the person, replace that voice with the voice that says, that's speaking on your behalf.
So well. You nap well.
Speak on your own behalf and let other people judge you.
Yeah.
But don't be the one that's constantly putting yourself down, like as though you're going to get out in front of it. You know what I mean?
That's what I was doing.
Like, oh, I know I'm a piece of shit. You don't have to tell me.
That's what I was doing.
It's like, no.
I was beating you to the punch.
No, I want you to tell me I'm a piece of shit because I am not going to tell myself that. And then when you tell me that, I'm going to hate you forever.
So what, if I'm hearing you correctly, what you're saying is someone has to tell me I'm a piece of shit. It just shouldn't be me. It should be you.
No, I'm saying leave it to someone else and then kick them in the nuts.
I know. And then I'll say never again.
I mean, that's not to say don't be like abandon all criticism, but it's just, I don't know. I guess for me, it's like I'm someone who's just like way too critical of myself. So I just feel like when you came in and you said I'm a piece of shit,
I said I'm a lazy piece of shit.
Right. I was just like, that's not how I saw it. And so I didn't want you telling yourself that.
Yeah. And that was how I saw it because I woke up a few times and thought, get going, lady, and get out of bed, get dressed. Stop doing what? Why are you still in bed?
Sleep is part of the problem. So like you're not lazy, you're just underslept.
Yes.
You're chronically underslept.
Yeah. I'm back to like springing awake around 4 or 5 and then kind of being awake, which I used to have really bad back in the days when I drank like 9 cups of coffee a day and was convinced it didn't affect my sleep at all, but I also couldn't sleep at all. I was very awake in the early morning. And for some, my caffeine is more regulated. I don't drink nearly as much. I fall asleep well. I stay asleep well, but then I kind of like something is waking me up in the 4 or 5 zone, and then I got to look at Instagram and look at my phone until I get sleepy again. Yeah, and then it's dogs and children and fish. The fish aren't getting me out of bed, but they're there when I get out of bed.
They're hungry, and so they burble really loud.
There's a lot of mouths to feed, Yeah. So anyway, what I wanted to tell you is I got an Instagram message today from a woman who collects spin magazines, and she has like all of them except there was a chunk she was missing. And she has been looking for these issues online, and they're all like $85 to $100. I'm really stretching this out, but she found someone in Mission Viejo who was selling a lot of 12, even though she already had some of these. It had this specific issue from 1993 with Lane Staley on the cover.
I'm sure you have it.
Well, hang on. And she gets the lot of 12 and she looks through and she keeps seeing my name on them. Turns out she has my magazines. Isn't that weird?
Your name on them like you had written it?
No. Oh, that'd be cool. No, the address label.
Oh, it's from the estate sale?
Yeah, those were my mags. Yeah, someone bought them from the estate sale who lives in Mission Viejo and then turned around and charged $100 for them.
What did you get, like $5?
Oh, my God. I think... if even that, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's who's going to estate sales.
I know.
People are trying to turn the profit.
Yeah, but still, isn't it cool? And
well, why did she reach out to you though?
Because she's a fan.
Oh, so she was already a listener.
Yeah.
Oh.
That'd be weird otherwise.
Oh, how wild for her.
Well, okay.
That's pretty.
I gotta mention though.
Yeah.
A lot of detail about Spin Magazine and how cool it was to find them. Less so detail about like, oh my God, how crazy that these are your Spin Magazines.
Well,
but
I think that's implied.
I know, but I could have used it. It could have been more explicit, is all I'm saying.
You just want more of the compliment of how famous you are?
More of the like, oh my God, I've been listening to your show for so long. What are the chances that I found your... Maybe a little bit she's like, this might be weird for you because now I have your home address. But it's
she
not...
probably feels weird, and also I think it's implied in her reaching out.
Again, I'm saying let's take the subtext and make it text.
Okay.
It's an address. I know it's my dead parents' address, and then also my college address.
So they can find you in the past if she has a time machine.
The me of 1990s is now exposed, but yeah. Yeah, well, so for a second I was like, maybe it's someone who looked me up and I don't know, is like, oh, this is who it is, but no, but then I scrolled up and like we had communicated a number of times.
That's wild.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
what I'm saying. Why is there not more oh my godness about it all? You
right.
know?
Like imagine it'd be like if I, found some magazines from my favorite podcaster, Gina Grad.
I was going to go with Juliette Binoche.
Okay.
Does she have a podcast? I have a bit of a just me or everyone.
Hit me.
Sometimes I ponder on something I have thought or done. Is it just me or everyone?
When I see someone launching a podcast right now, I think,
poor sucker.
Pretty much. No, I think like, wow. Wow.
Wow.
Whose drop is that? Wow. Is that Betsy?
Yeah. Wow.
Let's hear the Betsy drop.
Whoa. Wow, man.
Well, hang on.
Okay.
I just think, wow. It's like you're deciding to date a married man and thinking it's going to like, you're going to be the one for whom this goes well.
I feel that way, honestly. I'm trying to think if there's any art form where I don't feel that way for a person engaging in it in this day and age. I feel like anyone who wants to like write a screenplay or start a YouTube channel or write a book or make a comic or anything, it's like there's no market for anything right now. Like I say go for it, but anyone who's expecting to like, I'm gonna hit it big, it feels like, man, I don't know how to do that these days.
Well, it just seems like a town that everyone has decided to move out of, and you like just got here with your suitcase.
Totally.
That being said,
I
don't think it's a bad idea at all. That's the arts.
That's what I'm saying. All of the arts are a town that everyone has moved out of.
You know what's a town that everyone has moved out of is Los Angeles, but not really. Just that apparently nothing is filmed here anymore. I feel like everyone is talking about this.
Yeah, it's a big problem, but Newsom's trying to he's trying to help fix that with tax incentives and shit like that. But
is he really, or is
No, he's sincerely doing that.
And is it working?
He has. I don't know the details. He's trying to get something through the legislature. It's so boring, but like they had something where they incentivized the studios to build sound stages, and that's why in Burbank, they tore down Warner Ranch and replaced it with these massive sound stages. So they're building tons of sound stages here, which I don't know. I can't imagine they're just going to sit empty. I mean, I imagine they're going to fill them up with production.
What kind of things are shot on sound stages, though, versus in Norway?
Well,
sitcoms are shot on sound stages.
Movies. Your favorite movie of the year last year was all on a sound stage. Wicked. Like they used the sound stages for everything.
I think that was my favorite movie of the year.
I know. And that's the thing. You can, they go to England and they film at Pinewood or whatever, and you could do that here.
What's Pinewood? I just think of Pinewood Derby.
It's just a famous studio in London, but it's like they could do that here. There's nothing about being there that's important other than the tax breaks.
I have a hey, go fuck yourself. And I know that I am just throwing in segments willy-nilly. Okay. Nilly-willy. Yes. But here it is.
Okay.
When I buy a new pen and there's that hardened booger on the end of it, preventing it from writing where it's not supposed to, or preventing the ink from leaking and stuff, you can see there's like the residue of the hardened booger.
Oh, you don't get the whole thing off?
No. I'm tired. To the hardened booger on my pen.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
I understand there's a reason for it, I am sure. But I hate it. I hate that nubbin. I hate that to get it off, I gotta like put my fingernail on there and just, here, you can hear it. Oh, maybe I got it. But still, then you get ink on your fingernail. Isn't there a more elegant solution?
I feel like they didn't used to do that. I feel like that's a newish thing with pens. You know?
What is it preventing? Ink from leaking? I think so.
I think with the gel, maybe it's with the gel pens or something. That
Maybe.
You don't find that with, roller pens.
Yeah. Also, I've got a hey, go fuck yourself to someone whose Instagram I saved. She had a reel on her top 10 blue ink pens. And I'm not even a blue ink pen person. But I said, I will be influenced. And I was. And I went out and I got her favorite pen, but I got it in black. And not loving it. It's too thick. It's 1.0 instead of 0.75 or 0.5, which is what I did. I know she made, it was like the kind of thing where she had a pad, and with each pen, she like wrote something in her neat handwriting, and you could hear the scratch of the, it was like, I don't like ASMR, but if I did, I would have had full body tingles.
You know what?
Hey, lady with the bad opinions on pens.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
If I was God,
if you were,
I would. One of the things I would do is I would take all the people who are super talented with calligraphy and writing with like dip pens.
What are dip pens?
Like you dip
like
the
an inkwell?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, they have this incredible talent, these people, but they have nothing to say.
Oh.
And so all they do is just write stupid cliches and words because they don't know what to do.
Right.
They have all of this talent to write in this beautiful script with these incredible nibs and brushes and stuff.
Nibs.
Oh yeah, nibs, honey. All sorts of nibs and inks and
cartridges.
And they can write all the different kinds of calligraphies from the ages, and but they don't have anything in their brains to say, and so it's just all prettiness without content. And then the people who have content have shitty handwriting.
Right.
What I'd fuse them together into all of them into one person.
Shitty handwriting that's contentless.
Yeah, but only. So I'd take 100 of them over here and 100 people over here, and then I would force them into one giant person.
Super nib.
Just a huge 100-foot tall person with a giant dip pen who has a lot to say, 100 persons worth.
Right.
But also 100 persons worth of talent in their script.
Right.
That's what I would do if I was God.
If you were God, I'm correcting your grammar because it's annoying for someone to do what I'm doing. And what I'm saying is similarly, you have 100 people who have nothing to say and 100 people who have horrible handwriting.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's right. So you just
which one is going to
so you have two twin giants. One person
who always tells the truth with horrible handwriting.
What a perfect world. Like, people who have nothing to say should have the shittiest handwriting. Like, the people people with the most important thing to say would be doctors, and they are also the people with the worst handwriting. Like, a doctor, when they write, if it was like, if a person's handwriting was proportional to the importance of what they say, then a doctor, when they're writing a prescription, it would be like those
the Declaration of Independence.
Yes, it would have a giant first letter.
Yeah.
With like a little picture of like a monk with a monk like running.
Right.
And then like,
there'd be like a vine growing out of the O.
Yes. And it would just like a little scene
Yeah.
in the border of the prescription
pad.
Yes.
Yes.
And then the fucking J.O. down the street who, just watches baseball all day, you wouldn't be able to understand anything I said. And yes, I'm saying if you watch baseball, you have nothing to say.
Yeah.
Come at me.
I'm going to get you canceled. If you watch which sport, fill in the blank. If you watch this sport, of all the nothings to say, you have the least to say.
Oh, it wouldn't be baseball. Let me think.
I
feel like a lot of people who are into baseball are like George Will, and it's like the
mathematics of it. It's a game of inches.
It's the poet. It's the sport. The poetry as sport. They have all these fucking obnoxious things to say.
Isn't it also a game of inches, though?
That's football.
Oh, okay. You and I are both going to figure out which sport
Is the dumbest
correlates
to the dumbest
to having
mind?
Yes, but it's more than that. It's
Probably
I
like
want to put
Alai or some shit.
I want to put a finer point on that.
Sorry, it wouldn't
Like
be Alai because that's probably
Like a
and
0.5.
I just probably insulted a whole group
I think you
of
did.
people. I don't know. All right.
And
I just think Miami Vice when I think Alai, so
I
forgive
have no
me.
idea what highlight is, but in my mind, there's a guy who's like throwing a discus.
It's not a discus. It's like it's a thing you hold that's curved, and you put the ball in it, and you throw it, and the ball like flings out,
and then does it come back like a?
And then you catch it in that, and then you fling it back.
Who hits it back to you?
No, you don't hit it. You catch it, and then so that you
you throw it up.
You throw it to the other person. I don't know the rules of this. There was like a minute where I think there was a highlight. So people were trying to make it a huge sport in America. But this was the day. These were the days when bowling was the #1 televised sport. Okay. So it was like a weird American moment.
Is highlight's not American though, is it?
I think it might be like Brazilian or some shit, you know? But it was like in Miami they were doing it. And it was like, oh, this is going to be the next football.
Really?
Oh, I think there's a whole story
teams?
behind that. I don't know if they're teams or if it's like tennis where it's individuals. I think there's a betting component maybe.
What is it called? Oh, boomerang. That's the fucking word I was looking for earlier. I've got to look up Alai. It's JAI.
Yeah.
JAIA. It's a Basque sport. So that's French.
What is it? Oh.
Involving bouncing a ball off a walled-in space by accelerating it to high speeds with a handheld wicker, commonly referred to as a cesta. It is a variation of Basque pelota. You know what? I'm not sure Basque is French, so hold please while I figure that out. The term highlight, coined by Serafin Baroja, is often also loosely applied to the front Basque country. Oh, sorry. The sport is played worldwide, but especially in Spain, France, the U.S. state of Florida, and Baja California. Let's see what's considered.
Baja California, coming out of left field.
The Basque country is located in the Western Pyrenees, straddling the border between France and Spain.
I don't mind
on the coast of the Bay of Biscay.
I don't mind insulting the Spanish or the French, so I take back my apologies.
And I feel like I was right in saying that it's French. So anyway, together, you who know sports, me who does not know sports.
Not know sports.
I do not. We do not know sports. Are going to figure out which. It's not correlating to a dumb person. It's if you're interested in this sport, you have very little to say.
That's a really, really tough one.
Right, because then you can think of the stoner sports, but I don't feel like those count. So now don't yell it out. Just say, I got it when you got it.
I mean...
And I'm thinking of all the sports.
There's only one that it could be.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I haven't gotten there yet. I'm just going to say what it's not. It's not curling, because I know a couple people who are into curling, and they're cool.
No.
And it's probably, I mean, you want to go football, because that's the most, like, meatheady.
No.
But foothold. But football has such a wide swath of fans. Don't say it. And then golf.
It's one you're not thinking of, and then it'll be obvious.
Golf is boring, but I know a lot of people who like golf. I feel like is kind of appeals to the intelligentsia, right? I don't
because it's a country club sport,
right? Okay, tennis.
Same.
People like tennis.
Tennis is very like you're into tennis, you know, like you're into cheeses, like you know cheeses.
Oh, see, I wasn't gonna say that. I was gonna say tennis is like if you're into running back in the 80s. Like, that's a whole type of... Okay, fine. We disagree. Gymnastics, no, because all cool gals like gymnastics.
The only people into gymnastics are people who did gymnastics.
Okay. Ice skating, everyone likes that. That's just beautiful. Skiing. Oh. Do people watch snowboarding? Because...
if it's in the Olympics, it's a sport, I guess.
Okay.
But...
I mean, like equestrian stuff, that doesn't really count. Hockey. Bowling.
Don't say camel racing. You'll get canceled. That's not right.
Lawn bowling. Petanque.
Can I just?
Yeah,
can we just
fine.
get
What?
to it? Mixed martial arts.
Oh my God! Yes. It's so obvious.
So obvious.
I'm sorry to everyone because it is. There's got to be a crossover between my listeners and mixed martial arts fans, even though it's unusual.
We're just
there
saying
are.
in aggregate. That doesn't mean there aren't people into it that aren't smart. I know some that are smart, but for the most part, it's a dumb crew. It's a dumb crew. They're the ones that made Joe Rogan famous, for God's sakes.
Can I tell you?
Yes.
My friend, whose husband owns my friend's ex-husband owns or owned a famous action sports clothing company. And I mentioned the you chown box man guy I found out is a co-owner of an energy drink company with this guy.
We should have an energy drink.
Just what would it be?
Just Alison Rosen's your new best friend energy drink.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. My right eye.
How hard could it be to go into that?
My right eye. I'm getting an itch in my right eye that is just relentless. But anyway, the point, and I can't stuff my finger in there hard enough.
You need to take a second?
I need to take my eye out. Yes. I can't even itch it. I just have to push my finger into it really hard.
Is it an itch?
Yes. It feels like it. It feels like an itch that I can't get to in my eye. So anyway, though, as I was saying, she has 3 children, and her middle child is doing MMA or ultimate ultimate cage fighting, or I don't know what it is, but not ultimate cage fighting. What's UFC? Is UFC
mixed martial arts?
That is MMA.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing it. And she was posting from one of his fights, and I was just like, wow, that would be really hard to watch your kid do that. That seems so scary.
I mean, I don't want my boys to do anything that there's a risk of head trauma,
right?
Brain.
Yeah.
damage.
I mean, he's an adult, I think, at this point. So
Is
he's
he?
not super young. Yeah, he's probably he's at least 18.
All those guys get that cauliflower ear too, which is so fucking gross to me. It just makes me want to puke.
How many hits to the ear does it take to get cauliflower ear?
I don't know. It's just when it starts to, if you damage it enough for it to inflame, the ear doesn't go back to shape. So it just becomes this gnarled
like your body after having a baby.
Yes. That's right.
So I'm going to tell you, your mom texted us. Elliot would like help brushing his teeth. I think we should take a little break.
Okay.
And we're back. How are you doing now? Have you had a change of heart about all the dismissive things you had to say about MMA fans?
No. I don't think they've availed themselves very well lately. I think that there's a lot. The MMA community has a long way to go before they're going to be okay in my mind.
Well, I hope they work harder knowing that.
But you were talking about what it would be like if your kid, if Elliot decided he wanted to get into that.
I would discourage it.
Yeah, I would just be I don't have a problem. I like boxing, and I can enjoy.
If he got into boxing, would you be cool?
No,
with that?
just.
I'll just.
I like watching boxing. I like watching MMA if it's on. I mean, it's definitely exciting to watch. But I would just, and I love football. I love things where people get severe brain trauma. But I don't like it for my son.
Right.
So I guess I would just be it'd be if you wanted to go, I hate to say this, please don't. I have nothing but respect for the armed forces.
Oh, interesting.
But if there was a war,
and he wanted
right
to
now,
sign up,
and he wanted to sign up and go to war, as a father, I would just be like,
don't.
please understand
Don't
what
you have
you're...
bone spurs?
I just don't want anything to happen to you.
Of course.
You know? So it's the same. Like, I don't disrespect people who do MMA. I don't disrespect people who are boxers or whatever. I just wouldn't want that for my son.
Okay. You have the choice of your son enlisting during war or going into MMA or going into football. Which is the most dangerous?
Is the assumption here that he could do those things? Like he's big football.
Yes.
Football.
Is the most dangerous.
Oh, wait. What's the question?
Yeah. Which are you choosing? Well, I had said which is the most
football.
dangerous because you think that's the safest.
Yeah. I think that he could. There's lots of positions he could play, and it's not like a guaranteed,
death sentence.
You're not going to just have your head routinely pounded.
Okay.
The way you're definitely going to an MMA, and then I don't know, war. It sort of depends on like, I don't know. These days, if it was like a war now, maybe
right,
that would be the least dangerous.
Like, you know how it seems really scary to get on an airplane, especially now that the TSA has been disbanded or whatever's happening. I'm joking, but not the TSA, the FAA. Who is it that's in the air traffic controllers, the ATCs?
Yeah.
Who is it that's in charge of making sure planes don't...
Air traffic control.
Yeah, all that. It seems like a Wild West time. But really, even before, it's sort of, for people who are nervous about flying, it's scary to get on an airplane because you have no control. But you hear those statistics all the time that getting in a car is 1,000 times or whatever it is, more, your chances of getting into an accident and getting hurt are like so much greater in a car than on a plane. I'm wondering if your chances of being mortally injured if you enlist are actually quite small.
But the thing is, like, it's impossible to answer that question.
But did you appreciate at least the long-winded way I barely got it out?
I think, like, when you're thinking about a war now, we don't even know what that would look like. Like, you're talking about, like, the Ukraine war, because the Ukraine war is, like, 1 million people have died, like, just on Russia's side alone.
Well, no, I'm talking about us.
Yeah, and so I don't know what a
Americans.
war that America would be involved with. I don't know what that would look like.
That the Nazi that I dated, and I don't say that lightly, excuse me, skinhead, or whatever he was, went off to Iraq.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It seems like a great place for.
Did he survive?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, America's military is. I'm a big supporter of it. I'm not like a lefty who hates.
Yeah.
The armed forces, and I'm not a knee-jerk anti-war person. I have a lot of respect for our military, but
yeah, you and I were talking about this recently. Was it in relation to what holiday? Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Was it because of Memorial Day?
I don't know.
I was saying that if you had talked to me when I was in college or right after and also before, I was so cynical about the armed forces, and I really felt like, or the military. Armed forces refers to all the branches, right?
Sure.
And as does military. I really felt like the military, I was so cynical. I was like, the military are bad. Like, they just go out there to like fight wars for bad reasons and to kill people. And I think that I would have held the opinion of a lot of like the fringe left right now, the way that I think like I want to like beat some sense into them. I think I might have held those opinions too.
I wonder like how much, people that are like that, what percentage of those people have had like no interaction with anyone like from the armed forces and military? Like, I feel like once, for me, my uncle was
your Uncle Monroe?
No, yes. My uncle was a Commodore in the Navy. He like was in charge of the naval base in Jacksonville, and he commanded the all of the planes. He was a pilot and all this stuff. And so I was around that.
Which uncle?
I'll tell you.
I think I know who
John.
you mean, right?
Yeah, my Uncle John.
Mm-hmm.
and just being around him and being on the Air Force, on the not Air Force, on the naval base, and being on the carrier. I got to tour an aircraft carrier, and just like, when you're around, and then I've had other things in my life that have exposed me to, and I think that sorry. I apologize to everyone. My brain isn't functioning. One of the things that hits you is just how professional they are. Like, just how much this is just a group of people that are incredibly competent and serious people. Like, this isn't, I mean, yeah, it's depicted as a bunch of like, and that exists, of course. Like,
that's
goofballs.
Do you mean like the Abu Ghraib stuff?
See, like, I don't feel like that represents.
But is that what you're talking about when you said goofball?
Yeah, like, I think
or do
people
you mean,
like, no, I wasn't thinking that, but like, there's certainly going to be like people in the military, because there's like 3 million people in the fucking military, so there's gonna be assholes, there's gonna be racists, there's gonna be fucking like everything. But just to say that the whole, like, everybody in it, no, it is,
yeah, I know,
intimidatingly competent in it and serious, and the people in it are like really good at what they fucking do. And it's I don't know, like, it doesn't line up with the characterization that they're not like bloodthirsty animals.
Right. Yes, I think that's how I saw. I was like, if you want to murder someone, that is a good place to put that.
That doesn't mean that there aren't bloodthirsty animals who are in the military. Like, of course.
Well, but they're bloodthirsty animals who are in every walk
But I
of
would
life.
say like what might be characterized as that is usually just like, there is a job that they are told. They are killers. Yeah. Like, when you're talking about the lethality of the U.S.
But they're
military.
also doctors. I've seen MASH.
But let's just even talk about like, the infantry, or just the people that are trained to kill. Like, yes, they're trained to kill, but they're not just like, it's not just like go out and kill a bunch of people. They are given a job and they do the job, and you can be critical of what they're being asked to do. But the characterization of them just looking for people to murder is, I just think, I think that
was unfair, and it's
I think that
inaccurate.
the left likes to think that that's what all of it is.
Yes,
and it's
and I used to be one of those people who thought that, and I think I've come to the realization that unfortunately there are just certain international problems and situations that can only be dealt with via force. Yeah. And that as much as I, in my heart, am a pacifist and love the idea of everyone putting down their arms, it's just not feasible. And so, and actually there is something, I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm like Uncle Sam, or I'm like an eagle right now. Not one of your Michael Vick dog killing eagles, but like
go birds.
Like Sam the eagle, the Muppet.
Okay, sure.
He's patriotic, right? No, but I think there actually is probably something.
The fact
noble.
That you have to hedge this at all is crazy to me. Like, it's just
I
wild.
am on the left, or I always was.
I mean, like, okay.
Well, I'm actually saying there's something noble about going to war, about fighting a war.
Well, I mean, I think that's a whole other conversation.
Well, that's the one I'm having
but like,
right now.
Just in terms of like there are people who be like, we need to get rid of the U.S. military entirely and then take all that money and spend it on schools. I get that on that logic, except like you're not understanding what would happen in the world if we did that. The world needs, and I know what the fucking left says about this, but you're just wrong.
By the way, and I just have to say, for all the new listeners, I realize there's probably not that many at this time. And if this is the episode you came in on, my God, I'm sorry. Check out one of the better ones.
Well, wait, this isn't good? I'll shut up.
No, you're turning it around.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. But my point is, we say this as people on the left.
Yeah, I'm on the left, and I understand the arguments, and I'm sympathetic to the arguments. I just disagree. Look, I'll tell you a story. I went to the Grand Canyon one year, and my uncle that I was just referring to went, and I think he had just gotten out of. he had just I'm forgetting the exact timing, but he had been wing commander of all of the naval aircraft in the Pacific theater. So what that meant was that he was involved in any kind of like strategy that involved aircraft in the Pacific. And China had recently amassed a huge had moved their army to the coast as though they were going to invade Taiwan. So they were like ready to invade Taiwan.
Mm.
Like, you know, there's all sorts of stuff happening all the time in the world you don't hear about. This was big enough where it was kind of getting like news coverage. It was like there was like serious tensions, and so he was brought in, and it's like, what do we do? Because our job as U.S. military, in part, is to protect certain. You know, we're there to protect Japan. We're there to protect our allies, and one of our allies is Taiwan, who themselves just simply are not big enough to defend themselves against the Chinese army, and so we had to do something that wouldn't be provocative and start a war and yet let China know that they can't do this.
Right.
And he was talking about how unbelievably tense the situation was and how every decision they made, they had to like figure out, would this insult the ego of, like, would this be too provocative? And so they would have like, they'd fly I think they were flying the Hornets at the time. They would take the Hornets and they'd fly them like off of the carriers, and they would just close enough to like, hi, we're here. We know what you're doing. Back the fuck off. And they were just doing that until finally China just backed off. And it's like, if we hadn't done that, or if one of those pilots got a little too close or whatever, and China decided that they were going to invade Taiwan. Well, let's imagine if we weren't there. I mean, like, then Taiwan gets overrun by China. Maybe you think that's a good thing, maybe not, but I think that wouldn't be a good thing. And
I don't know enough about it to have an opinion.
I think it would be bloody for one thing, because Taiwan does not want to be part of China.
Right.
But that kind of shit happens all the time, and like people go, "Oh, America's imperialist," but like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, we are literally just trying to put it this way, and then I'll shut the fuck up. No, I'm not trying to be patriotic. This is real politics right here. Like, if the United States pulled back throughout the whole world, okay, if the United States military pulled out of everyone, just said, you know what, fuck it, we're done.
Which, by the way, there's a certain person in charge who's into that.
Yeah, but it's like,
kinda.
Who knows what the fuck is really happening? Yeah, let's say we did that and we said, you know what?
America
we're only going to protect.
First.
Yeah, we're just going to protect our borders. Fuck you. You're all on your own. Other actors, and by actors I mean other countries, other forces, would fill that void that we are keeping, that we are keeping at a stalemate, and that would lead to war and chaos, because a lot of those other groups are not good actors. And I'm so bored with myself right now.
How do you feel about Jack Nicholson's speech in A Few Good Men?
He's right. That's why it's a powerful speech. Like, you need people in those roles in order to have a safe world, because there are bad people in this world.
So for anyone who doesn't know, that speech is the one where he's like, you can't handle the truth.
Yeah.
Are we supposed to hear that? Because I was like, oh God, I think I do side with him a little bit. I think I see where he's coming from. So the audience is supposed to understand where he's coming from.
Let me put it this way.
Question.
I think so.
Okay.
If Putin didn't think that he would get severe pushback by rolling through Poland, do you think he wouldn't roll through Poland?
There was so many negatives in that.
If he didn't know that by going into Poland or wherever, Eastern Europe, and retaking the countries that were lost when the Soviet Union collapsed, which is what he wants, if he didn't think that there would be a credible force to oppose him, don't you think he would do that? And if you don't think
who's
he
the
would do
credible
that, you're living
force?
in a fantasy world. What?
You can't handle the truth. Who's the force?
Well, the United States was that force. We had military bases. We were there protecting our European allies. Now I don't know what the fuck, but like I think they're beefing up, and I'm happy for that. But like, whatever. No one tunes in for this shit. I'm sorry, everybody.
It's my fault. I let it happen.
I
let it happen. I felt it happening, and I let us there. I wanted to talk about the importance of a strong military because I'm hawkish.
I feel like I've ruined this show.
No.
I've ruined it.
I ruined it, Daniel. Can we talk about something important?
Yes.
Spray tans.
Yes.
Daniel and I are on the precipice of what could be a horrendous decision. An horrendous decision. Can we talk about your fleet of self-tanners that are on? Okay. Daniel has been tanning, guys. He's been self-tanning. There's sprays, there's foams, there's mousses, there's wet moisturizers.
I have not approved us talking about this.
I know. Is it okay?
No.
It's not? Because we're there, baby.
Okay, we can talk about it.
I think it's human, specifically to people who also are interested in having a tan.
All right, well, here's the deal. I don't tan. I can't tan. Like, I grew up in Tucson, and I would try to tan, and, you know, like, if I get a little bit of sun, you know, every day for years and years, I'll get some color. Like my arms have color. I've got like a. But
you don't tan, you freckle, and burn.
And I burn. And my skin is just very pale, and so it sucks because it's like my mom gets really dark. You get really dark.
I don't get really dark.
Well, you've told me that you get dark. You've paraded it around in front of me. You said I get so dark.
That I look like a small native child. Well, what's weird is I look at photos of myself from when I was a kid, and I did have, like, if I had been in the sun a lot, I did have a dark tan. And I guess I don't know if it's possible that your complexion changes because I feel like now I'm more of a freckler. The freckler. That's me.
Ooh.
The freckler. Freckler Fartigus. Freckler Monroe Fartigus.
Beautiful.
But yes, you're right. I do naturally tan more than you do.
But like I can't.
Mm-hmm. So
I have it. So
you have to call in the big guns.
When I was working years and years ago, there was this girl there who would go to the tanning salon, and so she was like, you should come with me to the tanning salon over like lunch one day.
Oh my God, I don't know this story.
Yeah. And I was like, fine, you know, I kind of, you know, she was sort of cute, but I don't know. I was like, yeah, whatever. And I went there and I was like, look, I burn so easy. Like, put me on the lowest setting, least amount of time. Mm-hmm. So
Did you wear those little dinks on your eyes?
Yeah, so she's like, okay. And she put it on the lowest setting, like 5 minutes.
Oh God.
And I burned to a fucking crisp.
Oh,
it burned so like it was. I'm not even a lobster. It was just like a saturated pink. You know what I mean?
Did it hurt?
It's like Barbie pink. That's the color I was.
Is that why you have to get skin cancer cut out all the time?
Well, no, that's just from growing up in Tucson.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I get skin cancer. So like, it means that. Did
it look good after it like mellowed out, or did you just peel
it doesn't settle into a tan.
Okay.
It's just like it just turns into.
Did she at least sleep with you?
No.
That bitch.
It's fine. I wasn't actually interested, but sweet girl though. But no, whatever. Anyway,
she was too tan for you.
No, she just gave. I don't know. She felt like a little sister, and I felt like protective of her in a way.
Was she younger?
A little bit, but there was something very
tan
insecure and vulnerable about her, and it just brought out more of a like big brother kind of feeling.
Got it.
A sexy big brother feeling.
Ew.
Anyway, so there's a certain tyranny in our culture, the tyranny of the tanned, I call it. And those of us cursed with pale skin were mercilessly mocked. We're oh, don't blind us when you take off your shirt at the beach, you pale colonizer. Is what people say to me.
Yeah, all the time.
And so I say, why should I be
so pale?
Why should I have to live my life like this?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can just put on some fucking self-tanner. And yeah, I get it.
It smells.
It's like there's something not masculine, I guess. But then I was like, but wait a minute. We're living in Trump's America, motherfucker. Like, I can wear self-tanner and be macho if that little Lord Fauntleroy motherfucker can be considered masculine. That it's not going to decrease my masculineness.
Inity?
By slathering on fake tanner and a little bit of lipstick, not enough to be noticeable. That is not going to make me less of a man. Okay? And so, but of course you don't want to look like you're wearing it. You want to look like, wow, that guy, does he have a laboring job out? Does he landscape for a living?
Right.
Is what you want people to think.
Yeah. You
want to go, is that guy working out in the fields? Like, what he looks so tanned.
Yeah, how did he achieve that?
Actually, when I was a landscaper, I did have a bit of a tan. But again, you kept your shirt on, so it was
right.
Anyway,
wait, lift your sleeve up again. Okay, so you have a farmer's tan situation happening.
Yeah, I can't get rid of it completely.
But where is the tanner?
It'd be here.
It'd be there.
So
it's on the farmer's tan.
Well, it's on the white part of my upper, like my shoulders. And
that's what I'm saying. So the lighter part that I'm looking at, that's the tanner?
Yeah.
Well, it's au naturel because it's not as dark as the rest of your arm.
Well, that's the thing. I don't want it to be like, so dark.
Right.
That it look. I don't know. I think I would look weird with a really dark tan. I just want it. All I'm doing is trying to reduce the contrast between how dark my arms are. I know I said I don't tan, but my arms are tan from when I was 13. Like, it's like, the same shade it's always been.
Freckle.
Well,
freckle with some dark underneath. Yeah. So here's my question. Because you are now a connoisseur of all.
Well, I tried different ones to get so I don't look orange. So I wanted to see which ones work.
What ones do you like? Do you like any of them? Because there's drops that you put in your moisturizer. There's spray.
Well, so like people say you should use a different kind for your face than your body because there's certain chemicals in the body one, and so you don't want to. It's like natural. It's called Natural Beauty or some shit.
Is it spray?
No, it's the lotion.
And you like that one?
I think so.
And what do you apply it with?
The spray is hard because, like, you have to, like...
Get it all over your bathroom?
Get it right, and then it's hard to get your back, and I don't know.
What do you apply the
I'm
lotion
only doing this
with?
because we're going somewhere where I'm going to be out in the sun.
What do you apply the lotion with?
You have to get a mitt, yeah. So
you mitt yourself.
Yeah.
So anyway...
You should do it.
I'm thinking... Well, you left one of them in the shower... The one that you apply.
I didn't like that one, although supposedly it works. But
I have yet to see how fast does it work because I'm still.
It's supposed to be a few days. It's like
it's
like a gradual. That's the Jergens like
wet moisturizer.
Wet, so you put it on after you shower.
And it claims
in the shower, like while you're still wet. I don't know.
Yeah, I did that, and then it says you just towel off and go, and it stays on your skin, not on the towel, which is some M&M technology. Mm-hmm. I don't know how that works though. Mm-hmm. And then also. I went through a phase. I think I've talked about it before. I was wearing skirts, so I bought this Estee Lauder self tanner that had a bronzer in it, so you could see where you put it.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked into a cove, and my friend Jody, you met him. He went, "What smells like wet dog? It smells like wet dog in here." And I was like, "That's me. That's my self tanner." Now you definitely smell. No offense, but it doesn't smell bad. All your parade of self tanners, they all smell kind of good. But I
chose ones
based on that.
That didn't.
Yeah,
because
because you'll sit down on the couch and I'm like, what smells good? Thinking it's like some new hair product, but it's actually your various skin tinctures. Hang on. But I put all this shit all over my body after the shower, the Jergens one.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, it smells like perfume mixed with cat urine.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. Maybe there's something about me that brings out the cat or dog
it could
pee.
be like a combination.
Like in the apartment that I lived in, when I went to Le Cave with my stinky legs, Roya had a cat, and we had a downstairs half bathroom that she called the cat bathroom.
Yeah.
And that bathroom had a litter box, one of those covered litter boxes in it,
Mm-hmm.
and like an air freshener spray in there. So it smelled like air freshener and a
Yes,
cat litter box. That's
sure.
what I smelled like.
Well, I should have chosen a different scent then. Yeah, I mean, I think I didn't notice that, but yeah.
So anyway, in the midst of this tan bonanza going on here, our good friend Jenna Kim Jones posted a story that she got a spray tan.
Oh.
And then I said,
how does she look?
Good.
Yeah.
She's super into it. She said it's going to be her new obsession.
I mean,
And
it's
then
kind of a great feeling for
I
me.
said, hey, Daniel,
What?
why don't we get these spray tans?
Well, here's the thing.
But I'm
To my
afraid.
eye, my body looks better a little tan.
Yeah.
Like, I'll take my shirt off and I'm like, hey. And then it's like,
who's that?
I look pretty good.
Cocoa stud muffin.
I mean, like, I'm not joining any, like, fitness competitions or anything, but, like,
Everyone
I'm
thinks
so
they
used to looking,
better with a tan.
you just look better. Yeah, like, wow, I look okay with my shirt off. Like, who would have thought?
Do you want a marshmallow or do you want a s'more?
Yeah, and so, exactly. It's either
Case
one
closed.
or the other.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to say like a roasted marshmallow.
And I kind of do have the feeling that people, you should do whatever you want to your body to feel good about it. If
you're not hurting anyone.
no, it's just like if you want to, whatever, get plastic surgery or bronzer or tattoos or piercings or whatever, and it's like if that makes you look in the mirror and go feel really good, it's the same thing with like when you hear people who get who are trans, and they get the operation and they suddenly feel like that's great, do it. Yes, everyone, life is short, feel good about yourself so you can look in the mirror and feel great and move on. Like nothing wrong with that.
I don't think you need to justify wanting to be tan this much.
I think in today's day and age, you probably don't.
Yeah.
But I grew up when metrosexual was a slur. Isn't it funny? Metrosexual is now like what all those MMA guys are now.
Yeah. So anyway, Daniel and I, all of this is to say, Daniel and I might get spray tans. We don't know. I've done some light Googling. There's a couple places near us. One is a booth. It makes me think of that Friends episode where whoever it is.
Is it an auto thing where you push the buttons and it sprays you? Yeah,
I think so. And they also have tanning beds at that one too. They do it all
always
there.
have it all.
They do, yeah. But then the other one is a spray because because I said to Jenna, "What did you wear? And was it confusing? Was it a booth?" And she said she wore barely anything, which for chaste Jenna, wow. Can you say someone's chaste who has 4 children? You know what I'm saying though.
Mm-hmm. Did she wear a swimsuit or?
I don't know. She said she said she was basically naked, and that it was a person spraying her. So then I thought, oh, we should get like a person spraying us. I guess. I don't know. And then here's my concern. You know who we should ask? Lizzie Cooperman, who proudly talks about liking to get spray tans. I'm worried about it like getting, RJ City does this too. He could be a source of info. I'm worried about it like getting chunky and weird as it's coming off. Like, does it like come off in patches at the end? And then do you look just like you have like dirt on your face?
I don't know anything about it.
That's the concern.
Yeah, we should find out.
Yeah.
Maybe we could ask. Yeah.
All these people.
Why doesn't Trump do
Spray
self-tanner?
tans? I know. Why does he do orange makeup?
Why
I don't
does
know.
he do makeup?
I don't know.
He doesn't do a very good job. You would think that like he would
I feel like he likes how he looks.
I feel like it's like at some point in the 80s or something, he was doing a lot of TV and film, and he liked how he looked on TV with that makeup, even though it looked weird because
interesting.
Because it wasn't HD, and he just got used to this discrepancy between I look bad in the mirror and to people in the room, but I look great on TV.
Yes.
And so he doesn't know that that we're living in a world of HD. It doesn't look good on TV either.
When I used to do morning news, and this was it was like right around the HD turnover, they used to always like, I would do my own makeup, but then she'd like do something to my face, and she'd say, I'm just warming you up. I'm just warming you up a little. Just warming you up.
Yeah.
And it did look better.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the thing, is like always warming you up. They want to make you as the warm tones. Well, the question is, and I'm not going to do this research, someone would have to go back and see like, oh yeah, Trump did look great here. Was he actually wearing orange makeup? I don't recall him ever looking great.
It's like when you see those really old ladies that used to be like gorgeous and wear a lot of makeup, and now they don't do their makeup well anymore, or they don't do it in a way, they haven't adjusted for the way that they've aged. And so it's just like sloppy and kind of uncomfortable. Like it's like way too much rouge, and the lipstick's like kind of all over, and there's like blue eyeshadow, and you're just like, ooh. Like it's like he used to make
the level of misogyny in what you just said.
Well, because men don't wear makeup, so there isn't a male.
Some men do.
Okay, what I'm saying is like he maybe used to do it well, but he's gotten older and lost his ability to put it on right, and so like those.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Did he ever do it well?
Well, I'm giving him, maybe he did, but just he's gotten old now, and it's like he just doesn't reach to the back of his temple.
Remember my hilarious tweet? I said, guys, I found Baby Jane. She's at the CVS on, and like gave the cross streets. No one appreciated it.
I don't think I get it.
Whatever happened to Baby Jane?
No, I know, but what do you mean you found her?
There was a woman who looked just like her at the CVS.
You're answering the question.
Yeah, whatever happened to Baby Jane? Yes. See, it was too much of a thinker. Obviously, that's my problem. Can we also talk about Elliot is taking swim lessons from this place that our friend Izzy described as it's a little rough around the edges, which is she's English. It's such a funny way to describe a place, and it's so accurate. There's all these like swim to Ethan, swim to Bill. These are actual swim schools.
Well,
in
it started
LA.
out with swim to Jim.
Did it? Swim to Jim, swim to Bill, swim to Ethan. These are these like 7-day intensives where by the end your kid is like totally swimming, and the wait lists for them are super fucking long. They're expensive.
You have to have like a private pool.
They always take place in people's pools, like as opposed to a public pool. It's always like, so and so has agreed to host it. There's space for 2 more kids. We've been on these lists for 100 years. In fact, we were signed up, and then the pandemic happened. But it's small group classes. Elliot wants to take private lessons. One of these, they actually keep having openings nearby, and I keep almost wanting to sign Elliot up for it, but we've already paid for this rough around the edges place. But anyway, so he's doing private lessons. It's 20 minutes a day for 10 days. Do you feel like they're really teaching him to swim?
Yeah, he's picking it up. It's slow. I mean, 20 minutes isn't long enough, I think, but
my thing is they have taught him. I didn't take him one day. You did. He had a male teacher who sucked, and the guy was like seemingly unaware that Elliot was ingesting a lot of water.
Elliot hadn't quite figured out how to like hold his breath underwater completely.
Yeah, or how to time the breathing and stuff. So he was like inhaling
he kept
water,
pushing Elliot's head underwater.
I would fucking kill him
before he had time to take a full breath.
Yeah, I'm surprised Elliot wasn't crying.
He was.
Oh, he was crying during the lesson?
Well, not during, but immediately after he got out of the pool and just was bawling. That's why I was so hot.
I want to kick this guy.
Well, I was like, it just lit my head on fire. Yeah. And I went into the office and I was just like, he will not be with that teacher, blah, blah, blah. And then
Did you tell them why?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Did they say sorry?
Yeah, they were a little bit like, I don't know. I was coming in really hot. And so they were just like, at first, like, ooh. I wasn't yelling or anything, but it was just like, this person fucking sucked. And I'm sure that he's a nice guy, but this, like, he wasn't paying attention, you know, da, da, da. By the end, I was just like, I don't know, like, calm down. But yeah, it's hard because, you know, he's sitting there coughing and, you know, like he's got like mucus coming out of his mouth and he's like sobbing and, you know.
So anyway.
And the other thing is just like when he's feeling that, he's going to be less inclined to, I don't know, it could make him not want to learn to swim.
Right. So the next day he had a really good lesson. I talked to the swim teacher ahead of time and I said he really needs to work on, you know, breathing. But the way they're teaching him is you paddle, 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 head straight up, paddle, paddle, head straight up, not unlike Turtleine. And when he lifts his head straight up, of course his like butt drops. So they're trying to work on like just lift with your neck muscles. But why are they not teaching him to turn his head to the side and take a breath, which is how you and I learned? So then I'm like, this must be some new way. But I looked it up and I don't think it is. Unless it's like extremely elementary. I
think it just has to do with the fact that he's it's not like he's learning freestyle. He's not doing like swim.
But they are trying to teach him how to do the strokes.
Yeah, but he's not doing the full like arm thing where you turn your head while your arm is like, he's just kind of like staying afloat and moving forward. It's not the best swim school. But it's like, at least
but it's something.
Well, he can move around in the water and not drown swim school. You know what I mean? Which is better than nothing. After this, maybe we get him into like proper swimming, like learn to do the breaststroke and the this stroke and the that stroke, whatever.
How did you learn to swim?
I remember I had to, it was at like a high school that had a swimming pool. Which was rare in Tucson. And I rode my bike there every day for a couple weeks, and it was like...
How old were you?
8, 7. I mean, I think I kind of knew how to swim, but this was like more just, like proper swimming. Oh, and then did I learn to swim at the University? The U of A has a swimming pool, and I remember taking lessons there too. I think I took you do a lot of swimming in Tucson too. I mean, like, it's fucking hot there, and a pool is basically it. The only way to cool off. So that's what you do. Yeah, I must have already known how to swim though. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember taking lessons, I think when I was like 4, I started. But I hated those lessons. I can remember the sensation of wrapping my arms around my mom's leg. They had to like pry me off of my mom's leg. I hated it so much. And then I did an end run. I went to my dad and convinced him to convince my mom that I could stop. I was 4. I hated it so much. And then I think I did various other lessons. But then it wasn't until I had a babysitter named Dawn, and she had a pool. And I just did private lessons with her in her pool. And that's when I really learned to swim. And she called me Big Al, okay, like affectionately, but that was my earliest memory of being like, I do not want to be called Big Al. But anyway, she taught me to swim.
It's not a great nickname.
I don't love it.
Well, one kid would call me Queef, so that's worse.
So I guess what you and I are both saying is maybe learning to swim takes a number of different types of lessons till you get it.
I guess. I mean, I feel like the first one is just you don't drown, know how to breathe, and then you can learn like how to swim properly.
Yeah, I think it was with Dom that I learned like the backstroke and the breaststroke
how to,
and
like,
the
coordinate
forward.
kicking your feet with the arm movements, all that shit. Yeah, I took. Now I'm thinking about it a bunch. I have to ask my mom about that. There's so many things where I look back and I go, "Wait, what?" And then my mom will be in town. I'll be, "Mom, what was the truth about that?" And she's like, "Oh, this," and I'm like, "I had no fucking idea." Just huge areas of my childhood where I do not understand. I do not understand what the fuck was going on.
Yeah. You know what's weird? Not to make it about me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make it about me. I can't do that with my parents anymore. Like it is the
That's
info,
right.
all the things I wanted to ask questions about, which aren't that many, but there were some outstanding things like someday I will ask my mom this question.
Oh my God.
I can't anymore.
That's crazy. You should try to think of the things that you're not going to get answers to and make a list.
I mean, I want to know when
And then ask ChatGPT. And then it'll tell you.
ChatGPT, when did my mom lose her virginity?
ChatGPT, why didn't mom put water in the birds?
That is the main one.
No.
What is the real story? What happened to
But
my
maybe
bird?
beyond the mortal plane, you know, I like to think that people get full awareness, and so they become, you know, aware, and they think it's funny. You know, all their shortcomings, they think it's a hoot. And so
You think my parents are sitting there being like,
yeah, they're
sorry
not,
I ruined your wedding.
ego's gone. Ego's gone. They're just like, we were.
We
And
were
so
awful.
you can be real with them is what I'm saying when you have a seance. So have a seance and ask her, and she'll be honest with you. Finally, she
Do I
won't
need
get
a-
defensive.
Do I need a Ouija? Here's the thing, though.
No, we need to get a medium.
As much as there are these outstanding questions I want to ask, I'm not dying to know the answer anymore.
The medium would be like, okay, feeling a presence. I'm sensing a power cord, an iPhone, Wi-Fi. She's had. Is there
someone who knows something
is there
about
someone
the
here
new
who
iPhone?
knows how to connect to the Wi-Fi?
Did I tell you one of my favorite artifacts that I found was a complaint letter that my dad had written to a restaurant? Did I tell you about this?
I think this rings.
And
a bell.
it started by saying, "I'm not the type who likes to complain."
I saw that letter. I think I showed that to you, and you'd already read
Oh
it.
yeah, maybe.
I'm not the type to do this, and it was in like a file with like dozens of letters like that.
My dad, they love to complain.
Oh my
That
God.
my dad lived. My
Your
dad
dad,
lived for something going wrong, so he could complain.
Your dad, though, made it an art form because he actually would get
So many free
so
things.
much.
Yeah.
You know, he would write to the like CEO of a hotel chain and they get like a free night
Yeah.
or some shit, you know. He also got people fired.
He
Didn't
did?
Yeah, like didn't he get the wasn't there someone who was in charge of the hotel, the Kahala or something, who got fired?
Oh, that rings a bell.
And then that person ended up the CEO of like
a place that my dad wanted to complain to, and he didn't know what to do.
didn't have something to do with San Isidro.
That does ring a bell. I don't know. What a tangled web of complaints that was.
Well, you know. Old John Rosen, his legacy lives on through you as you get upgrades through complaining about your room.
I don't really do that much, though. Look, before you met me, you were the type to just check into a room and accept it.
I do not complain. This is a talent you have that I don't have, which I have come to learn.
But I learned it from my parents.
Yes, I have come to learn that when we go on a vacation, do not get attached to whatever room you find yourself in, because Alison will complain and get a better room.
Yeah.
And I am not sad about getting the better room. I'm uncomfortable with the way that you go about it. But
Is there a better way?
I don't think there's anything wrong with the way you go about it.
Wait, is there a better way?
No.
Yeah, thank you. What are you
get
uncomfortable
results.
with? The whole thing.
Just being just a pain in their ass.
Oh yeah, no, they love it. You know what I'm thinking though? It's been so long since we've not taken the room we were given.
Well, that's because we go to the same place.
Yeah.
But when I think if we were to go to a new place, it wouldn't be any different.
Oh, you're right. In Japan, we did explore a different room.
Oh my God, we made them like show us another in the other room. They hadn't turned the air conditioner on.
Oh yeah.
And so it was like so hot and so humid in that room. And the guy that was showing us the room
Smelled.
had not like applied any deodorant or anything. And it was just like so stinky. That was unpleasant.
I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we ended up sticking with our original. Sometimes you got to see another room. Because here's the thing. When you go into a hotel, when they show you a room, there's so many other options.
Yeah, there's a lot of
You can't
variety.
know, you know? So what we thought maybe there's something better, and then it turned out we were happy where we were. Sometimes you have to see that.
The view from our room was pretty crazy.
Yeah. Well, listen.
All right.
I think we've done it.
I just hope that when I see this, I'm gonna let people in on something here.
Okay.
Whenever I go off on something, I
Like
feel
what, tanning or military?
military
Mm.
or whatever, or politics or something. I always feel like, oh God, like I'm being indulgent. People are fucking annoyed by this shit. So I apologize if that was annoying.
I don't think you went on that long. I'm quick to be annoyed by you, and I wasn't annoyed.
You know, this is a show where we talk about farts. Okay, not serious bullshit.
We talk about both. Farts and shit.
Yeah.
I'd like to remind everyone that I am on Patreon. Patreon.com/Alison Rosen. I am also on Substack, AlisonRosen.substack.com. Follow me on all the social media. Oh, by the way, Turtling. It's our tiny turtle. A viewer of my stories wrote and said, do you pronounce it like Turtleline, like Caroline, Turtleline? And I was like, oh my God, Turtleline is such a good name.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's Turtline, but isn't Turtleline a good name? Or
Yes,
Turtlin?
but it's Turtleline because you're trying
Turtly.
to
I'm
improve
not.
on Turtley, which is what our son
What Owen named him.
Yeah.
I hold him sometimes. I haven't held him in a little bit.
The turtle.
But I do it surreptitiously because he's so little. I don't want the kids to decide they want to, and then this
He's
just
so
too
cute.
delicate.
Turtles feel like turtles seem like evolution didn't work.
Like they're so prehistoric seeming.
No, it's like how are they such bad swimmers? Like, how are you swimming the way, like, if you just dropped an infant in the pool? Like, that, like or like
you're
if,
like dog paddling.
or if we drop Peter in the pool.
Yeah.
Like, you were supposed to be here.
Mm.
The water is your home.
Right.
You should be good. You should be gliding around.
Yes. You swim like a fish out of water, in the water.
Yeah. And then you also don't walk gracefully. Like, you're neither.
Well, he's a baby.
I mean,
I wonder if older turtles.
baby fish are fine. You don't see baby fish like awkwardly like swimming, like flopping over.
We're going to have to do some research and find out, are older turtles good at swimming in the water?
Right. Like, is he going to end up being really good?
Right.
The Michael Phelps of turtles?
These are the questions.
Maybe.
Yeah. I just wonder if he would enjoy more time out of the water. I feel
he has a perch. He can be out of the water as much as he wants.
I know, but like, doesn't it just seems like turtle? Like, maybe I'm just thinking of tortoises.
Yes.
I think of a turtle. I think of some dirt, some water, a lamp, and like fruit cocktail or something.
No, the turtle likes water.
Yeah. No, I know. I just wonder if, you know what? He seems happy. Let's not confuse things.
They just like rest. They don't do anything outside of the water. They're just resting there, and then they go back in the water. Think of the turtles at like Descanso. They just get up on the concrete ledge and they just chill, and they go back in the water.
I guess you're right. What if he has aspirations to do stuff like art?
He has so much to do in that tank.
You're right.
He bumbles around and explores, and
yeah, he'll
fine.
he'll sit on a leaf and just hang out because the leaf is like a little lily pad for him. It's fucking cute.
Imagine if a leaf was like a bed to you.
I know.
A fucking leaf. This is like Marcel the Shell. Shit. He's like Marcel. He's like whatever. All right.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
We should have named him Marcel. No, turtle. He's a turtleine.
No.
But I mean, when you open up the tank lid, he like turns his little head over.
Well, that's the crazy. He actually will look at you.
Yeah.
The other fish, who knows if they notice you or not.
I had heard a puffer fish is like the dog of fish, but I have to say, as much as I love the puffer, I don't get a dog vibe from him.
How is it the dog of fish?
Like they like wag at you when you come over in the morning, and they like interact with you.
I have noticed it turn towards me a little, like it more than the other fish.
Yes, it's a little more interactive, but it's no turtle.
The clownfish is like clowns in real life, like scary clown. You know how clowns were funny, and you think, oh, it's gonna be cute, like clown, and now it's like
murderous.
It's like it. It's like Pennywise the clown.
I don't know. This clownfish, I haven't seen enough to for sure.
It murdered grandma fish.
No, Derek, our fish guy,
murdered and ate grandma fish.
Derek says there's no way that happened.
Well, what the fuck happened to grandma?
So, according to Derek, the royal grandma is a very smart fish and can be aggressive. And that fish could harm the clownfish, not vice versa. And then the puffer fish couldn't have eaten the royal grandma because the head or the body would still be there. So what
it had to have like leaped out.
And a dog ate it, but I don't understand how that could happen either.
I don't know how it could have gotten out. There's no way for it to.
I know. Well, no, it could jump out if I had the tank lid open, but I'm aware when I have the tank lid open.
But you would notice a fucking fish jumping out and flopping around on the ground.
I would, because that's what I always think when I open the tank. If any of you motherfuckers jump out, I'm tossing you back in.
I bet it buried itself.
And died?
And just said, peace out. This sucks. And we're just like... Yeah.
But I've even like sifted through the sand. I mean, not 100% thoroughly.
If you've gotten caught under the coral, you move the coral.
I moved the coral. You know, there was a snail in there. Now, this is what they tune in for. There was a snail in there that I could not find for the longest time. I was like, where could this... I was posting about it. Where's this fucking snail?
It's like the Bermuda Triangle.
And then that snail was under the sand, dead. So it is possible, I guess... I should just sift through the sand better. But the ammonia would spike, and I've been testing the water. Guys, tune into my new podcast, Fish Tank Talk.
Do it.
I'd like to thank everyone for listening. Thank you for listening. I love you. You matter. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Alison Rosen show?